Hi guys, welcome to episode 3 of Girl Fight, the Sports Talk podcast. I'm Cayman Alexia, and this episode is very special because it's the 3rd episode, 3 World. And today we're going to talk about the Mavs trade, the trade deadline, and also, of course, those Kansas City Chiefs, baby, because they are going to the Super Bowl, and we're going to talk about this Super Bowl. And just a little update, I've missed you guys so much. Life has been lifing, okay? But I'm back, I'm better, I'm blessed, and I'm ready to get back into the sports talk. And I feel like I came back right on time, because it's Super Bowl time. Hello. And the Kansas City Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. So this episode is just me, solo dolo, because I'm talking about those Kansas City Chiefs, and it would have got real heated, would have had to kick somebody off my set. I don't have time for it. And I know that my big brother, both of them, are gonna love this episode because it's a war in our house this week. It won't be for long because obviously Pat Mahomes will prevail, but we'll get into that later. Anyways, let's start with this trade deadline, okay? I have to hop on here and talk about that because I've seen some ridiculousness happen this week, all right? So let's start with this trade deadline. Trade deadline is Thursday, February 9th, all right, at 3 p.m. So last month, LA agreed to deal Wizards forward, okay? Hachimura, how do you say his name? For Kendrick Nunn and 3 second-round picks. All right. In January, the Celtics, they had a deal with my team, Go Spurs Go, to make a transaction for Noah Vonleh to the San Antonio Spurs to lower their luxury tax bill. Immediately that was waived by the Spurs, all right? But the trade that was like out of there for me and is obviously the Mavs trade. Let's get into it, okay? So Sunday, the Nets trade Kyrie and Markieff Morris to the Mavs for Finley Smith and Dinwiddie. And also for some draft picks, okay? They got the 2029 first round, the 27 and 29 second round picks, I believe. I just want to touch on this because this move is shocking. I typically don't really hone into basketball until football season's over because I'm a football gal. But this I had to talk about. It's shocking, and if you're a basketball fan and you've seen, Kyrie Irving is a amazing player. His handles are insane, okay? But he is a drama-filled player. I mean, he's had a lot going on ever since the 2020 season. And this move is just shocking, and I'll tell you why. It's just risky, okay? It's a risky move for the organization in the case of a trade later on for maybe a more reliable player, okay? So that's I would not have done that. However, I'm not the GM. They didn't ask me. But that's my thought. That's my take. I wouldn't have done that. Anyway, I just wanted to touch on that and say that it was ridiculous. Okay. Now let's move into what's important. Let's move into what counts, and that's obviously Super Bowl Sunday. Okay. So Super Bowl Sunday is February 12th. All right. And in the Super Bowl, it's going to be Chiefs versus the Eagles. Now, I would just like to say this. I wish I had Girl Fight going at the beginning of the football season because I said those Kansas City Chiefs are going to end up in the Super Bowl. I said it from the very first game of the season. From week 1, I said, Chiefs, you're going to see them on February 12th at the Super Bowl. And everybody was like, Chiefs hating, right? Naturally. Mahomes hating. Kelsey hating. Why would we do that? I have no idea. How could you hate Patrick Mahomes? How could you hate on him? He is quite literally one of the best quarterbacks in the league. I will say I respect Joe Burrow. I absolutely respect him. He is an amazing quarterback, but can he out-quarterback Patrick Mahomes? No. And yes, I take my L's in stride, okay? And everybody wants to talk about the Cincinnati game, this last one that just happened, and they want to say, oh, they won by so-and-so. They won because of so-and-so, a penalty. They won because of whatever your excuse is that they won. At the end of the day, if you're a sports person, especially if you've played sports, a dub is a dub, baby. And you can't argue how he got that dub, why he got that dub. It doesn't matter because guess what? On the stat sheet, W. On the stat sheet, Super Bowl, okay? Championship, okay? Don't be a hater, all right? You can have your opinions, but facts are facts, okay? Facts are facts. Don't do it. So, I just don't understand why people hate on Pat. I mean, we'll talk about both teams because I can't be that biased, but we'll start with the Kansas City Chiefs, of course. Kansas City Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes, and everybody says like, oh, it's just, all they have is Patrick Mahomes. You're lying, okay? Patrick Mahomes, amazing player. He has 5,250 yards, okay, for the season, 41 touchdowns. He is definitely an MVP contender and also Offensive Player of the Year. All right, bottom line. And you could argue the Offensive Player of the Year, can't argue MVP, and you for sure can't argue those stats. All right. He is, so what happens for the Super Bowl is that they're required to file a two-week injury report. Okay, so 2 weeks of injury reports. And Patrick Mahomes, even with this high ankle sprain, has been cleared for the Super Bowl. All right. So while that is a concern of Kansas City's, obviously any nicks, any aches, any injuries going into a championship game is going to be important to factor into the game. It is definitely a part of a scouting report if I'm the opposing team. Because you have to know where to take advantage. It's a game. It's literally strategy. So you have to know where to take advantage of these teams and where to find their soft spots. Now, is an 80% Patrick Mahomes a soft spot? No, absolutely not. The only soft spot Patrick Mahomes has is him not being on the field at all. Okay. He's freaking Patrick Mahomes. Okay. So they take a close W to two of the top teams in the postseason, which is two of the top quarterbacks in the postseason, which is Jacksonville and Cincinnati. Okay. Jacksonville's score was a 27-20. All right. Dub. Okay. Close game. And then Cincinnati's score was obviously 23-20 off of just a mistake. But mistakes cost you games, right? The saying is that offense wins games. Defense wins championships because being defensive is a mindset, all right? And Patrick Mahomes is now going to his third Super Bowl. Now, anybody that wants to say he's not a top quarterback is just a hater. He's in his third Super Bowl, and he's only been in the league for 5 years. Yeah, talk to him nice. Put some respect on Patrick Mahomes, okay? Because he's doing the thing, all right? And he's not just the entire team, although the system is made for Patrick Mahomes. He's not the only one, you know what I mean? He has some supporting cast, okay? He has Travis Kelce, which is a dog, all right? Travis Kelce is a dog. And he has 6 seasons of 1,000 receiving yards, okay? And he has 12 touchdowns for the 2022 season. And I feel like I don't have to say much more on Travis Kelce. He's athletic, he's large, he's in charge. And everybody says, like, all you're going to do is give it to Travis Kelce and he's just going to run it. You're not passing it to Travis Kelce because all he's going to do is catch it and get tackled. Travis Kelce is that man, is him. Okay? Don't play with 87. Don't play with 87. But while we're talking about his offense, we also can recognize a couple players on their defense. I mean, while their defense isn't really outplaying many other defenses, I'll be honest, but you have your key pieces. Just like in your offense, you have your key pieces. And same thing for the Eagles. But what I will say is that the Kansas City Chiefs have Chris Jones, a dog, okay? He is a monster. He is their DT, okay? He's their defensive tackle. He has 15 and a half sacks on the 2022 season. 15 and a half sacks on the 2022 season. Just him. That's not a team number. He alone has 15 and a half sacks on the 2022 season, okay? He's also large and in charge, all right? Chris Jones is 6'6". He's 300 pounds, okay? Straight monster. He's bulldozing every single time. He had 1.5 sacks against Cincinnati in the AFC Championship game, all right? And he's 1 sack away from tying a Hall of Famer, Bruce Smith. Just 1 sack away from tying the Hall of Famer, Bruce Smith. And he's only 2.5 sacks away from tying the all-time leader, Willie McGinnis, for the postseason sacks, all right? This is all postseason sacks. So, put some respect on Chris Jones, okay? Don't try to play the Kansas City Chiefs defense like they're some scrubs. Like they're just out there playing flag football, okay? They're not. They have some pieces, and Chris Jones is the dog. And now I'm sure he'll be double teamed, okay? I'm sure they have something for his ass, all right? But a dog is a dog is a dog, and he gonna be one, all right? So don't sleep. That's all I have to say. Don't sleep. Moving to the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, okay? Jalen Hurts might be America's sweetheart. And I put some respect on Jalen Hurts because of his journey, because of his story, because of his humility, you know? And all of those are great character traits. You know what I'm saying? He's shown perseverance. He's shown heart. He's shown passion. He's shown patience. But that stuff doesn't win you a Super Bowl, right? And now, look, don't attack me because I'm not saying Jalen Hurts is a scrub, okay? We know Jalen Hurts is that man, and he gets things done, and he is him, as they like to say these days, he is him. But he has 3,701 yards and 22 touchdowns on the season. That's not touching Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. That's not touching Patrick Mahomes. While Jalen is an amazing athlete, okay, amazing run game, and he has a great supporting cast. I mean, his supporting cast is outstanding, okay? Before we get into his supporting cast, he's also been given the green light for the Super Bowl, of course. We know that he had that shoulder tweak, but he's been cleared and he's in the clear for the Super Bowl. But, okay, his supporting cast consists of let's start with his targets, right? His targets, Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, and Dallas Goedert. Excuse me, ew, I promise I don't have Rona. But anyways, and of course, we can't forget Jason Kelce. I know that he's quiet and in the cut, but that man is that man right there, okay? So, his supporting cast is just amazing, you know? Devontae Smith, he goes off, all right? He goes off. I like him out there as receiver, athletic, yes. AJ Brown, same, athletic. Their defense is what, as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, their defense gives me a little shiver. But there's nothing Patrick Mahomes can't handle, okay? So, boom, their offense. Lane Johnson, I want to start there with Lane Johnson as their RT. Hello, this man, he's ranked first, okay? He's been invited to his 4th Pro Bowl, and he's gone 2 seasons without conceding a sack or a hit on his quarterback. Yeah, he a dog. He that man. He's him. Yep. He gets things done. He does this. This is what he does, yes. But Chris Jones. That's all I gotta say. But I'm not taking away Lane Johnson, dog, all right? His pass block grade is in the 80s. 89, something like that. 89, 90. It's not a 90. It is close though. 89.7, I believe, is his pass block grade. Now, and we're still on offense. Jason Kelce. His brother a dog, but him too. Jason Kelce be doing the thing. All right. He can block, and he's a great blocker, and he creates pathways for his QB all the time. If you go and look at his highlights, he blocks and he creates those pathways for Jalen Hurts, because Jalen, being an athletic quarterback who has a good run game, Jason Kelce and him work well together in that regard, for him being able to open up those little valleys for him to squeeze in and for some yards or for a touchdown. Okay. He is second among centers in the NFL. All right. Top 2 is a place to be, and that's somebody you don't want to mess with. You know, he dogging, but Kansas City. Anyways, I won't be biased. Let's talk facts. Jason Kelce is an absolute dog, okay? And I just want to say, everybody's been talking about Mama Kelce. His father is like well and in the picture, and that's what I'm talking about. Give Mama the glory, okay? Because Mama held them down. Dads are important too. Dads count too, but shout out Mama. I love you, Mama, to my mama. I know she's gonna watch this, so. Anyways, so getting to their defense, Ugh. Eagles defense. Let's talk about it. Eagles defense, man. One of the best defenses in the league, along with the Bills, along with the 49ers. However, these Eagles have had 70 sacks on a season. I don't think you heard me, but I definitely didn't stutter. 70 sacks on a season. Now, and a few of their players have sacks in the teens. Okay, so this is not a weak defense. This is not a soft defense, and I don't think this is a defense that you're going to be able to find very many holes in. Okay, so Kansas City offense has to be on and popping. All right, they have to be on their P's and Q's, because if they're not sharp, they're not focused, they're not paying attention to detail, they will get ate up by this Eagles defense. And that's just me taking my bias out of it and me putting myself in the sports realm of it. You will get ate up by this defense, Kansas City, if you're not on your P's and Q's, if you're not sharp. Okay, so they need to be mentally prepared, physically prepared to play this game. I don't doubt that they will be, because it's a Super Bowl, but once again, it's a Super Bowl, it's a championship game. Weird things happen, and you really honestly just never know with championship games. Like, one team might have the jitters and they might shit themselves and they won't deliver. Both teams might come to play. One team might be playing down, the other one plays down with them. It's just, you don't know. It's a playoff game, and it's a win or go home. So you really just don't know, especially in football. It's really game to game. So on their defense, they have Hassan Reddick. That man there. That man. He has 35 solo tackles on a season. 35 tackles, solo dolo. Just him. 16 sacks on a season. He's one of those players that has those teen numbers. 16 sacks on a season. That is great. He's a great defensive player. 5 forced fumbles. Yes. And 3 fumble recoveries. So from those statistics, what I'm hearing is, and what I've seen when I watch these Eagles, and I only watch them because, for one, I do like Jalen, and I also like to talk trash to my brother. So, but when you look at those stats, you see on paper, this man is beasting. He's beastly. He's not beauty, but he's the beast. Okay? He is taking charge. He's taking control. He is fiery. He's ready. He's on. Now, I'm not saying people have a perfect game every single game, but what I am saying is that he's on. He's on. And I have no doubt in my mind that for this Super Bowl, he will be on. He's trying to smash. Okay? Hulk smash. That's what I think of. Because this is for all the marbles. And if you're playing like that in the regular and postseason at the Super Bowl, I expect you to turn me up. You know what I'm saying? Don't turn me down. So, and then you just look at this defense as a whole, and you're like, they've been pretty unstoppable. And I know a lot of people will be like, oh, they didn't play anybody. Well, they're about to. So we'll see how they handle Mr. Mahomes. I want to say that Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. And I don't want to sit here and let the words unbeatable come out of my mouth, but I mean, he doesn't call himself the GOAT. He lets us do it. You know what I'm saying? So he's, Tom Brady retired, which I should have opened up with that. Tom Brady did retire again. But everybody's saying they'll believe it after 45 days. So we'll give him his little grace period. But with Tom out of the game, Patrick Mahomes is bringing up his rear. You know what I'm saying? Patrick Mahomes is his son. Patrick Mahomes is coming for Brady. That was disrespectful. Tom Brady the GOAT. GOAT. I don't know if he'll ever be able to be outdone. But Patrick Mahomes is going to come very freaking close. He's going to come very close. And he's going to do the damn thing. Like he always does. So, I obviously am taking the Kansas City Chiefs, as you can see. Okay, Kansas City Chiefs. We're taking those Chiefs, but I do respect the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, I respect their quarterback. And look, I was a defensive player back in my day. I played fullback on the left side. And I respect defense because it takes a special person to be able to defend. Like I said earlier, defense is a mindset. Not everybody has that. And so for these defensive players to come out here for the Eagles, game in, game out, and just dog everybody, like they're in the trenches. And they're getting things done. And people can say like, oh, they don't play anybody. But I think that's a little disrespectful because at the end of the day, the people who they play are also in the NFL. They are also professional players. So I think it's disrespectful for you to say like, oh, they don't play anybody. Like, yeah, they do. They're playing professionals that are on the same level as them. Like they're playing their partners. They're playing their equals. They're playing their counterparts. So put some respect on all of those other teams because they're not college teams, okay? They are professional teams who have just as much talent as the Philadelphia Eagles and just as much potential as they do. It's all about piecing your team together, and it's all about your moving parts, and it's all about your system, all right? And it's a machine. That's what a system is. It's a machine. So people need to stop disrespecting the Eagles by saying they didn't play anybody because they most definitely did. And they just were the best. They just came out on top. Now, as far as the Kansas City Chiefs, they have a hell of a schedule. And they still came out on top. And for everybody that was telling me like, oh, the Chiefs aren't going to be in the Super Bowl, I hope you eat it and you take your L, and you better not root for those Kansas City Chiefs because I'm going to send out personal messages, okay? And let me not jinx it. But just know, if and when those Kansas City Chiefs win that Super Bowl, I'm sending out all my messages because y'all had me all season, and especially in that Cincinnati game. So just know that those Kansas City Chiefs are coming out on top. Now, no disrespect to Joe Burrow, guys. He's not a scrub, okay? Joe Burrow will be back. But let's never disrespect Patrick Mahomes ever again and call it Burrowhead. That's Mahomes' house, okay? That's Arrowhead. And don't you ever forget it. And also, I do want to say, I love Andy Reid. Okay, great coach, phenomenal coach. So while everybody's saying that their offense is this, their defense is that, let's not forget that they have one of the best coaches in the league. So we're not going to forget that. We're not going to do that. Put some respect on the Kansas City Chiefs, but also put some respect on the Philadelphia Eagles because they definitely did play other professional teams, and they just were the best team and came out on top in their division. So, but I'm not going to say too much more. I am going to definitely be back with a video after the Super Bowl because win or lose, I am a sore loser. I'm also a sore winner. However, I can take my L to the chest like a woman, and I will be able to sit here and talk about the game, even if the Philadelphia Eagles win. However, I will not be speaking to my brother for that entire week if they win. So that's that. So this will conclude this episode of Girl Fight. I just want you to remember that our mission here at Girl Fight is to simply bring respect and awareness to women in sports. So whether you are in sports media and sports management, whether you play the sport, put some respect on their name, because women can do it all and we run the world. And I also want y'all to let me know who you think is going to win the Super Bowl, who you want to win the Super Bowl, who you're going for. I would love to have these little conversations in the comments and whatnot. So please, please, please bring it on, especially all the Kansas City haters. I want to see you. I want the smoke, okay? Put some respect on Mahomes. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm back and I'm blessed, and I hope you are too. And I will see you for episode 4 of Girl Fight. Mwah, mwah, mwah.